What's that you got there?
This, oh my friend, this is Doom. Doom is considered by many to be the quintessential first-person shooter video game, and it was literally installed on more PCs in the mid-90s than Windows 95. Part of the game was also inspired by Tom Cruise being a cocky asshole in a film about pool hustling. The story goes that in mid-1992, developer John Carmack began brainstorming ideas for a name for the game that would represent what they felt it stood for, as well as their values as a company.
So, I've never actually played Doom.
How have you never played Doom?
It just wasn't one of the games I had.
How have you never played Doom? Doom's awesome! Basically, you play this really, really pissed off space marine who just hates demons. That's it.
That's the plot of the game.
He's just really angry and he wants to kill all the demons. In the newest game, Doom 2016, it's really hilarious because you can find all of these like lore tidbits from the denizens of hell about what they think the Doom Slayer is, and they think he's like this legendary knight sent to punish the legions of hell.
Wait, so the demons from hell fear your character?
They fear him, yeah. I read all this and I thought, oh, is it a reboot of the series? Because I didn't follow it that closely. And I asked my friends, like, oh, is the Doom guy like some sort of supernatural entity? 'Cause the lore in the game suggests that he's like a fallen demon who turned against his kind. That's kind of a weird twist. And my man, no. That's what the demons think. He's just a guy. And I went, that's even better. He's just a guy who's so pissed off he just murders everything. It's great. It's such a good game. I think the way I summed it up to my friend who's not played it, he said, oh, should I get it for the Nintendo Switch? I went, yeah, because the only way I can sum up Doom is that it's a fucking video game. It's like, do you want to play a fucking video game? It's the most video game you will ever play. After racking his brains for a few minutes, John Carmack, one of the aforementioned developers of Doom, remembered a scene he'd seen in a film called The Colour of Money.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Colour of Money either.
Fuck's sake, right. Well, The Colour of Money is a film where Tom Cruise is a pool hustler. And the scene that John Carmack remembered, like Tom Cruise walks into this old style pool hall with his little cue. And he walks in and he goes up to like the guy's like the best pool player there. And the guy says, so what's in the case?
What you got in there?
And Tom Cruise looks down, like, wraps his fingers and goes, Doom.
Doom.
Well, the most shit-eating grin you've ever seen spreads across his face.
Yeah, let's play. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Because the whole idea is that he's like so good at pool, he's going in there to like open this guy's asshole up and just pot every ball there right into it.
You better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim.
Does he have a custom cue that he calls Doom and he's like painted?
I can't remember actually, because it's been a while since I've seen the film. I don't know if his pool cue is called Doom or if he just thinks that inside this case is your Doom. All I remember is that when he starts to just like push this guy's shit in while everyone watches him, he just acts like a complete and utter asshole and just spins the cue around making kung fu noises.
Does he, however, do it eating a sandwich?
No. I actually don't know. Who do you think would win out of Uncle Phil or Tom Cruise in The Colour of Money? That's a battle for the ages right there, isn't it? Because that's the thing, like, he goes through this entire scene, he does the same thing, like, he makes his shots with one hand, he does it behind the back, he does it while calling his shots, while, like, basically taking the piss out of this guy. So, I don't know if he could beat Uncle Phil, because they seem to be on the same skill level.
I think Death Battle needs to get onto that shit.
Yeah, stop doing really crap death battles like Scrooge McDuck versus Who Gives a Fuck. Do Uncle Phil versus Tom Cruise from The Colour of Money in a pool battle to the death.
Lucille versus Doom.
Oh, that's a battle right there, isn't it?
Oh,
Do you know what the best bit about the entire film is? Like, the film itself is not great. It's good, but it's kind of dated. My favourite part is when Tom Cruise is celebrating by spinning his pool cue around like an asshole, is the edits online that people have got are just changing the pool cue for a lightsaber. So he just looks like a drunk hipster Jedi. Carmack will later note that Cruz's cocksure attitude during that scene, as well as the resulting carnage that arose when he metaphorically inserted 13 pool cues into that guy's asshole in front of an entire bar full of patrons who thought he was the best player there, was how he saw the game they were developing at the time.
Why 13 pool cues?
Because that's too many. Because it's too much. And do you know what? Doom's too much. I think it sums up Doom, that 13 pool, one pool cue, that's overkill on its own. 13 is just way too many. And if you play Doom, which I highly recommend you go do, you'll realise, yeah, this is like shoving 13 pool cues at someone's asshole. It's too much, but at the same time, it's hilarious. It's so over the top that it becomes hilarious. Like, it's one of those games where it caused massive controversy, especially because it was so violent. But if you look at it now, you realise like hyper-violence is in of itself hilarious because it's so ridiculous that it's hard to take it seriously, and I don't get how people did back then. More specifically, Carmack saw his game being like the Doom that Cruz was alluding to before he metaphorically rubbed his balls all over everything in the room with his pool-playing prowess and girth. So basically, Carmack saw the gaming industry and the game-playing public as being like that bar full of patrons, as they were not ready for Doom. They were not ready for it, but it came anyway, because it's Doom and you can't stop it.
I think that is actually one of the most pointless facts we've had so far.
It's so because it means nothing. It adds nothing to anything. But I really enjoy the fact that this game that's ridiculously metal. Everyone knows this game has just been the most OTT thing ever. It's like you punch demons into pink mist. You tear them apart with your bare hands. You have a gun literally called the Big Fucking Gun. It's called the BFG 9000, which stands for Big Fucking Gun 9000. And it causes absolute carnage. You shoot it and everything in the room just disintegrates into a puddle of like goo.
Holy shit.
And it was inspired by this scene of Tom Cruise going, what's in that pool cue case? A pool cue? No, it's Doom. Those two things don't, like if I would have said, all right, so we've got a link here, and I'm gonna say there's a link between a video game where you tear demons apart with your bare hands and blow them apart with a shotgun, and a 90s era Tom Cruise vehicle where he plays pool, you'd go, shut the fuck up, Karl. There is nothing that can be, there is no tenuous link between those two things. There is no thread you can draw that will connect them. Like, well, actually, there is a
Name of the entire franchise.
It's inspired directly by a scene from this movie. I get the feeling as well that John Carmack was looking a little bit too much into that scene. It was like, oh yeah, the Doom inside that case was like our game being unleashed on the game. It's like, I just think when they wrote that line for the film, it's like, it sounds kind of badass. Because remember, Tom Cruise is like, what, this tall? If some guy that talking up to me and he had a pool, like, pool is not the most threatening thing to do. And he come up and he had this long case that's about this tall, about this wide. And I said, so what's in there? In a pool hall. The obvious question is, my pool cue. And he goes, Doom. It's like, well, calm down, mate. We're only playing a game here. And John Carmack's like, that's the most badass thing I've ever seen. Conveniently for Carmack, the word Doom also fit quite handily with the theme of the game, which is punching the endless hordes of hell in the face so hard they explode. Do we have to do fucking like, comment, subscribe? I think people get the joke that we don't want to do it.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm getting a little bit bored of having to edit them all the time.
Right, so if you do like the video, like it. Or if you want to like support the channel, why not optimise us on Google? Or follow us on MySpace. No, what's the other shit? Bebo. Bebo. That's what we should do. We should start a... No, is Bebo still going?
I'm pretty sure it still exists.
We should start a Bebo profile. That's the only place you can get... No, we should release all our videos a day early on Bebo. That's what we should do. And then a day earlier than that on Friendstar. What was it? Is it Friendstar, the other one?
I'm pretty sure that was further back than even I had social media.
That's what we should do. We should release our videos a day early on Bebo, and that's the only way. No Patreon, none of that bullshit. Bebo. That's it.
If you want to support the channel, send us money on Bebo.
Yeah, don't send us money on any of these established formats. We don't want him. Give it in Dogecoin as well. I want to put everything in Dogecoin.
Dogecoin's not a thing.
Yeah, it is. Dogecoin's a real
That's
thing.
Dogecoin a thing.
It got popular enough to sponsor a fucking NASCAR.
Fuck's sake.
Or was it a NASCAR? Was it? No, it was the Jamaican bobsled team for the Winter Olympics. They were sponsored by Dogecoin. They had just Doge all over their outfits. Yeah, do that. Fuck it. Why not? Bollocks
Sponsors
to
a
it.
Dogecoin.
Bollocks to it. Yeah. We're not going to have a Patreon. We're just going to start our own cryptocurrency.